Hey, what's up everybody? Can't Sleep here. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your charts on Tc2000. Everybody sets their charts up different. This is just the way that I like to set up my charts. For the most part, this is how I set them up. Like I said, there's plenty of ways to set them up. This is just what I use. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go up here and click on File, Open Layout. If you don't have that option or you can't see it, down here on the bottom right there's this little tab. If you hold your mouse on it, it says New Layout tab. You can also click on that. But for this, we're going to go up here and click on Open Layout. I have a bunch of pre-built layouts right here on the left. You're not going to have these. You might have some pre-built layouts, but these are all ones that I've built myself. You can click any one of these right here. It'll be fine. I'm just going to click on Tc2000 Classic. You can go ahead and click on whatever you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on TC Classic. Okay, when that pops up, I can notice a few things. Our charts are not how we want. These are called bar charts. We want what's called candlestick charts. What we're going to do is we're going to right click and go on Edit Chart Properties. Now, right here at the top, where it says price style, you have these different little headings. Click on price style. The first option, plot style, we are going to change that to candlestick. We are going to change color based on to open versus close. Up bars, we want them green. Down bars, red. That's just standard. You can make them whatever colors you want as long as you know what they are. Fill based on open versus closed. That's a personal preference as well. Up bars, I don't like my up bars filled. I only want my down bars filled. So I click on this down bars filled, and what that'll do is if you see how these bars are hollow, it will make all down bars filled. Bars that closed lower than they opened will now be filled. Show yesterday's clothesline. I don't need yesterday's clothesline on my daily chart, but I will on my intraday chart, so we'll go ahead and uncheck that. Everything else is okay. Edit plots, we can go ahead and exit both of those and exit also your word and stochastics 12%. You can exit that. Keep your volume and keep your chart name. Pre-post data. Up here next, I like to click on only outside of normal market hours. The rest, scaling, comparisons, color grid, symbols should all be okay. Color grid just tells you what color do you want your background. You want it black, red, you want it to go from a gradient from black to blue, black to green, whatever's comfortable for you. I personally just like to keep things simple with a black background, and that's just how I like my charts. I don't like them to be confusing. Okay, value grid lines. Now, these are going to be your grid lines if you want them right here, and that's for your chart. Or for your price, you can see coincides with each one of these numbers. That's just to kind of give you an idea, a faster look of where things are if you don't, it just helps a little bit sometimes. I don't like the grid lines. If I do want them, it's very, very, very slight, but I don't need them. Date grid lines as well, it's the same thing. It goes with the months or whatever date you have selected at that time. Sometimes it's days. Whenever you zoom in, your date grid lines will be there. I like to keep mine off. Symbol watermark, that's your watermark behind this. It's going to show you what chart you're trading. Me, I just like to keep that a little bit, just so I can see it, but just barely so it doesn't interfere with anything. Just so it's a quick glimpse. Instead of looking up here, you just look, you already know. It tells your sector and your industry, so that's also helpful as well. Value scale size. So that is going to be the size of your price right here on the right. I keep mine about just moderate, wherever I can see it. Date scale size, same thing. Bottom right here, these dates, it's going to make them bigger or smaller. I personally like to keep them about just middle. Date scale location, below price, you can also put that bottom of chart. I like mine to be below the price. Helps me be able to see what price is, or what date it is and what time it is faster. Date margin. Now, this is your margin if you want any. What that's going to do is, if you can see this gap in the price chart right here, that's called your margin. If you don't want any margin, you place it all the way to 0, You can change that whenever you want by just clicking this arrow and dragging it anytime. Okay, so we've got that sorted out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add an indicator. We're going to click on this right here up at the top where it says Edit Indicators, or we're going to right click and add Plot. Add Plot comes up, a search bar. In the search bar, you're going to type in moving, or start typing it in. Once you get it close, it'll pop up, and we're going to go to Moving Average Simple. We're going to add it to Facebook, not to volume. Make sure you add this to the Facebook. That's very important. That will pop the line up here. If not, it will come down here in the bottom in the volume. That's not what we don't want right now. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit that indicator. Now, depending on, like I said, all this is personal. I like to keep my indicators a certain color because I've memorized them and I know what they are, and that's how I keep them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the indicator. I'm going to make this number right here, the period, 200. And I'm going to keep everything the same. Plot opacity, that just depends on how dark you want it. If you want it see-through or whatever, this is how thick you want your line. If you want it a dotted line, if you want it whatever you want, I keep mine solid. Full plot opacity, okay. I'm going to go ahead and add another plot, and it's going to be another simple moving average. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add it to Facebook. This time, I'm going to change this. I'm going to keep that at 50. I am going to change this to purple. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Simple again. Facebook. And it is going to be my 20-day moving average. I'm going to make it blue. One more for the daily chart. Probably two more. Let's see. Add plot. Going to add. Now this moving average will be different than the other ones. Whereas before the others were simple moving averages, this will be an exponential moving average. And I'm going to add, to the same spot. I'm going to make that 9. And we're going to make this white. Now that is the 9 exponential moving average. A lot of day traders and a lot of traders follow this average. It's a short-term moving average, so it's very important to day traders. Once that's all done, we're going to go back up again. We're going to either right-click here on Add Plot. We are going to type in Stochastics. We want the regular stochastics right here. We're going to bring that down by grabbing this right here and grabbing this to make it more proportionate. We're going to click on this to 5, this number to 5. We change this number to 3. I like to make this purple as well. It's just personal preference. I think that's just because the first time I had the program, that's what it was. And we change this, like I said, to 3. So to stochastics, 5, 3, 3. Okay, we've got that set up. Minimize that. Now that this chart's set up and we can save it, we can click this right here, Save Chart. Save Chart As. You can name this whatever you want. We'll just say how to set up, save. Okay, now that we have this set up right here, This is your chart layout. This is for your daily chart, and it is saved. Up here is how we navigate in between our daily charts and our intraday charts, our weekly charts, our monthly charts. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to organize this a little bit simpler. So let's see, this right here is a notes feed. I don't want this, I don't need this, I don't need notes. That's up to you. You can keep your notes there if you want. I will delete that window. I will keep this right here. And what I will do is I will go to New Chart. I will click on now when I get this new chart up. I'm going to move this chart. I'll click on Move here. Now this can be confusing at first, but what it's asking me is where do I want to put this chart? In regards to this chart right here, I want to put my chart next to it. So I'm going to click it to the right. Position the item to the right. Now my chart is right here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this watch list. I'm going to click on the four crosses again, move window, and I'm going to put it in between these two. To the right of this chart, to the left of this chart. You can put it here or you can click here, either one you want. I click here. Okay, now I have my watch list in the middle. That separates my daily chart from my intraday chart. The next thing I'm going to do right here is I'm going to click on this thing where it says 10 minutes next to Facebook, and I'm going to click on 5 minutes because we like to trade 5-minute charts. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this where it says new chart, and I'm going to put in my chart. Click the chart that you just saved, and it should say whatever you named it. I put how to set up. I click on it. Now it opens up our chart, which is already pretty similar. We just need to make a few changes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this back to 5 minutes. Now we're on a 5-minute chart, which each bar, each candlestick representing 5 minutes of the trading session. I don't need my 200 moving average here, so I'm going to click on that 200 moving average and click remove. I don't need my 50 moving average. I'm going to click on that and click removed. This 20 moving average, we don't need that either. We will keep the 9 because we will use the 9 moving average on our charts. We will also add another indicator. Right click on your chart and click on add plot again. Once add plot is done, we're going to type in VWAP, and we click on this VWAP. Once you have that, I actually like to keep my VWAP orange, and everything else should be okay. If you want to change the color, just click back up here how you were before. The next thing I like to keep on my chart, and probably the last thing on my intraday chart, and also on your intraday chart, you don't need stochastics. Stochastics is to show overbought and oversold conditions, which is mainly for your daily chart. That's where we're concerned about our stochastics. We do want our volume though, however, so you can keep your volume there. Alright, after this, what we're going to do, we're going to add one more moving average. So we click on add plot, type in exponential or EXP, or moving average, exponential, Facebook. I like to keep that yellow, and I put in 20. I keep the 20 and the 9 exponential moving average, and I keep the VWAP because those are the trends that I like to trade intradaily. One other thing we can do is if you want a watch list to go right here to fill this in so it's not just some generic watch list, you can click on this arrow down here and you can look, and there's plenty of different watch lists available, different scans that you can make, and you can scan for different sectors or whatever you want. I have my own pre-built scans. And what you can also do is you can open this up and arrange this column up here however you want. Me personally, I am going to edit this and show you what I like. Now, I like the flag, the symbol, the percentage change, the price, and volume buzz. I don't need PE ratio, so I'm going to remove that by clicking the X. We're going to click on Add Column. We're going to type in net change. There's net change since open, net change today. We're going to click on net change today. Next, we are going to look for industry, which is going to be, oops, sorry. You don't need all these things. These are just things I like to have on my charts. Important statistics or things I like to look at. Volume. Today's volume. And last but not least, price volatility. Okay. Make sure they are in the right order. Flag, symbol. Okay, net change, I want next to percentage change. That's just how I like to do mine. You can organize these however you like. This is just how I like mine. Okay. And now you have this right here. That's those columns we added will be up here. You can expand them whenever you want. Now if you want to create a watch list, go like this, click on this little calculator looking button. We'll type in how to October 23rd and we'll click OK. Now if you want to open this up right here, click on this arrow, personal, and you will look for how to October 23rd. There's your watch list. You want to add more stocks to that watch list? NVIDIA. You click on how to October 23rd. And there you go. Okay, well that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's how I set up my charts on TC2000. Like I said, you can set up your charts differently. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how to set them up, or different options. That's really how I like mine. I like mine to be simple and not too confusing. You can click on these also as well, and this will give you your different tools for your trend lines and everything else that you need, your Fibonacci retracements and everything else, which I don't use. So thank you for joining me today for the video. Hopefully I helped you guys out. Please like and subscribe. In the future I will be adding more videos on trading stocks